Alright, just going to do this video response to one of Bryan's videos where he is just doing damage control and attempting to control the narrative and just totally lying about people who attempt to reprove him and correct him and end up having to break fellowship with him because he just won't have it. So here's a video. I'm just going to play the clip and I'm going to show also why the likes of Bryan Denlinger, he's described in Proverbs chapter 15 verses 10 down to verse 14. But I'm going to play this video clip first. This is from his video called Dealing with Betrayal and Slander. Because anybody who leaves Bryan's ministry or attempts to reprove him, they're just betraying and slandering him. This is what he always does. If you try to correct him, pretty much anybody, I can name a ton of examples. Tim Connon, Philip Newton, a bunch of other people. Whenever someone tries to correct Bryan, he just says, "Oh, you're backstabbing me. You're betraying me. You're slandering me." No, nobody's betraying you or backstabbing you in the back, Bryan. No one's stabbing you in the back. You're just doing this to yourself. You're bringing this upon yourself. Okay? Because people just lovingly try to come to correct you, Bryan, and you just won't have it. Why? Because you're prideful. You see, Bryan's got a lot of pride issues. He's very haughty and high-minded. He barely receives any correction at all. Even people that are close to him that have supported him for a long time, whenever they try to correct him, he just will twist their words, he'll lie about them, he'll slander them. And his followers, you got like Jacob Thompson, who is blatantly a respecter of persons towards Bryan and just emulates Bryan. He'll come out and lie about you. His followers, they'll twist the words of people who speak against Bryan Denlinger. This is what happens. This is the fruit of this Bryan Denlinger cult that he runs. I'm going to play this clip. Let's watch this video.
But what I'm saying is when you're dealing with false prophets and people that are trying to tear down your ministry, and these leech ministries, they'll come along and they see, I do a study on liberty, and all of a sudden they do a study to correct my issues on liberty. Brother Bryan has done a study on modest apparel. Well, I'm going to do a study to correct what he said. They're leech ministries. They're building upon another man's foundation, which is sin. All right. Paul says about how he doesn't go where Christ is preached, lest I should build upon another man's foundation.
Maybe there's a reason why I'm trying to correct you, Bryan. Have you ever thought that maybe you could be wrong at times? You see, this is the thing about Bryan and his followers. And this is, something I was guilty of for a while as well, is that I was seeing problems with Bryan for a while when I was following his ministry and stuff that he was wrong about. But anybody who tries to tell Bryan that he's wrong, this is what he does. He accuses you of backstabbing him and slandering him. Again, maybe there's a reason why they're trying to correct you, Bryan. First of all, it's very hard to contact Bryan. He doesn't take phone calls, doesn't take emails. You write him a letter, he takes like months to reply. So you're kind of forced to have to do a video responding to him and correcting him. Maybe there's a reason why. Like, for example, your defense of the wicked pagan holiday of Christmas. There's problems there, Bryan. Okay, sorry, just check to see. Thought the battery was going to go out for a second, but yeah, Bryan's defense of the wicked pagan holiday of Christmas, the Catholic Jesuit holiday of Christmas. He's claiming it's liberty. It's not liberty. You can't Christianize a pagan holiday, a pagan Catholic holiday. But he's claiming it's liberty regardless of the origin. Chapter and verse, please. Where can we just pick any day? And because again, I did a video on Romans chapter 14 verse 5. It's ripped out of context completely. It's about esteeming a day unto the Lord. You can't just take a pagan holiday and Christianize it and claim, I'm just going to add Jesus Christ to it. Again, by this same logic, we could do Halloween then too. By this same logic, we can observe the Hindu festivals or whatever, because we can just add Jesus Christ to it and say, see, we're esteeming it unto the Lord. That's not how it works. But you see, Bryan, he's prideful, and he won't take any correction. So whenever someone tries to correct him in a video sermon, he just says, you're stabbing me in the back, you're slandering me. And all of his wicked followers, his wicked followers are just as nasty and bitter as Bryan. They'll come out and lie about you and slander you as well. Why? Well, let's look at the scriptures why this is the case. Proverbs chapter 15 verses 10 to 14. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of the hearts of the children of men? Not good at reading on a computer. A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. That describes Bryan Denlinger. He's a scorner, and he doesn't love those who just lovingly and just gently try to correct him, because it hurts his haughty spirit. You know, anyone that tries to correct Bryan, see, Bryan barely receives correction on anything. Even followers that are close to him, that were close to him, that were there for him the whole time, he barely receives any correction. You know, and then anyone that tries to correct him, they just get accused. They're kicked out. They're called lost. It's a cult. That's what it is. But continuing on, actually make sure I'm full screen. No, I'm not. Okay. Verse 12, a scorner loveth not the one that reproveth him, neither will he go into the wise. Yeah, exactly. That's Bryan Denlinger. He does not love those that just try to correct him. He has nothing but hate and contempt. Why? Because they hurt his pride. They hurt his high-minded, arrogant, haughty spirit. Verse 13, a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. That's Bryan Denlinger. His video on Proverbs 24 verse 17, totally butchering that verse to try to justify his wickedness. You know, he feedeth on foolishness. That's what he is. Okay, he's become his own pope. That's what it comes down to. He is very, very high-minded. He's prideful, like I've said before, and you know, this refusal to take any kind of correction is leading, you know, again, whenever someone tries to correct him and then end up having to break fellowship, they accuse him of stabbing you in the back. No one's stabbing you in the back, Bryan. You're doing this to yourself. You're bringing this upon yourself. You know, just how about you actually take correction and not just think you're always right? You know, Bryan just again, like from an outside observer, it just really looks like, you know, Bryan Denlinger complains, oh, people think that I'm the only one that's saved, or people think that I think I'm the only one that's saved. Yeah, because that's the impression you give. You give the impression that you're always right, you're the only one that's saved, and anyone who disagrees with you is lost. Because that's what happens. Brethren who try to correct you are just called lost, or kicked out, they're slandered. You know, that's what it is. They're just Roman Catholics. They're behaving just like Roman Catholics. That's what I said. It's a cult. And Proverbs chapter 15, verses 10 to 14 perfectly describes Bryan Denlinger and his prideful arrogance and refusal to take any kind of correction. And then just labeling, oh, they're stabbing me in the back. No, that's how you control the narrative. That whole video was just about damage control. That's what the whole thing was. It was just one big damage control to try to discredit those who attempt to correct him on his heresies regarding liberty and defense of the wicked Catholic holiday of Christmas. Again, if you're so against the Roman Catholics, why are you defending their holiday? Why are you defending one of their holiest days? Are you really against the Catholics? I don't know. But anyway, just wanted to put this video out. Mark and avoid Bryan Denlinger like the plague. He may very well be saved, but he's very, very arrogant and high-minded, and is to be marked and avoided, as are many of his followers, because they're just as wicked as Bryan in many ways. So anyway, don't be deceived by this cult. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with all the brethren. Goodbye.